You know, I like going in the weeds on some audio discussion, and I think I have one today that will really benefit YouTubers in general. So today, let's talk about loudness. So why is LUFS so important for YouTube? Well, it really comes down to this. When you're mastering your audio for YouTube, you want to align your material near the -14 LUFS or loudness units full scale. You do not want YouTube's automatic loudness normalization algorithm to treat your audio. When it does that, it will overcompress your audio and you'll lose a lot of your dynamic range in your vocal. And it'll sound flat and it's just really not exciting. That's what happens when you have a LUFS that is significantly over the -14 LUFS. If you're around -8 LUFS, you really need to think about turning your LUFS down and try to target more around the -14 within a couple of decibels. Now, what you do not want is you do not want to undercut the -14 LUFS significantly. Anything below -18 will not work for YouTube. And the reason for that is because YouTube will not normalize your audio up to meet the -14 LUFS, unlike other apps like Spotify or Apple Music. YouTube will leave it where you had it set for LUFS. So that's going to really be a pain for your viewers because now they're not going to be able to hear your audio from your video unless they turn their audio on their television or mobile phone all the way up. All right, so the first thing I want to show you is how you can get, I would say target loudness inside of OBS without actually hitting a -14 LUFS within your YouTube. Because you can do this by using the RMS level and getting within the ballpark of LUFS, and you'll find that it actually gets really close. And the RMS level, how you see that is you just look at this little black line right here inside of my VU meter. You can see right now it's hanging out, right below -12, which, that would be about -14 decibels or -14 dBFS. All right, that should get you really close to a -14 LUFS without actually using a VST plugin to measure actual loudness. I will show you that in the next portion where I use, VST plugins to do the same thing I'm doing now inside of OBS Studio, but doing it for voiceover. But here you can see that, I'm getting around -12, -14 decibels. And I'm not clipping. Now, let me show you why and how I'm doing that. All right, so in my filters, I've got a few things here. First of all, I always add noise suppression. The RN noise suppression inside of OBS is really good. I know a lot of people say, oh, noise suppression sucks. It destroys your vocal. No, it doesn't. This does not. All right, RN noise is fantastic. It's one of the best adaptive noise suppression programs out there. I love it. I've got the RN noise VST that I use all the time. All right. It's great. So look, don't listen to people. Just use noise suppression. It's great. Just don't use the old one. Don't use this one. Use RN noise. All right. The next thing is I've got an EQ, and I wanted to do this because I wanted to show you something that's very important when you're talking about gain structure. All right. So I've got this simple REQ. This is a Reaper plugin. You can get these for free. The replugs are free. Download. They're great. They even got I think a VST3 version of that now, which is awesome. But you see, I've done some EQ changes here. Mostly I've actually cut some annoying frequencies out of my vocal. Typically you got a lot of a boxiness around 200 or mud at 200. You got a lot of boxiness around 500. And then I've actually boosted just a hair here above, I would say around 15K. Just try to give it a little bit of air in my microphone because I'm using a dynamic microphone. They typically don't sound quite as crisp as a condenser mic does. But the reason I want to show you this is because when you're reducing signal in frequency, you're reducing your overall gain too. And that's something you need to monitor as you're changing these things. And you can do that simply by, clicking your vocal and then turning your VST or your filter off and on and hearing yourself and seeing if the volume changes or not. All right. If it does, then that means you got to do some gain adjustments. If it doesn't, like you hear me now, it's just fine. You're fine. You don't have to do anything. But as you can see, I'm going to open this plugin, and you can see I've actually gave myself about a 1.5 decibels of gain here. That's because I did notice that there was a slight difference in gain when I turn it on and off when I did these adjustments here. So this is how you can get your gain back that you lost by decreasing your your gain here within your EQ settings that you made. All right, the next thing you know, and this is a built-in thing that they've recently added to OBS. I would say, I don't know, a couple of years ago, I think they added this, but this is an upward compressor. It's really exactly what it is. A compressor, basically, any compressor is just reducing your dynamic range, the amount of peaks and valleys your vocal goes through. It compacts it together so that it is, stays within a relatively close volume or level. All right. But a compressor works on the peaks of your vocal. An upward compressor is exactly opposite. So it actually works on the low end, the quiet stuff, and brings it up a little higher. This is actually a cheat, by the way. If you're playing Battlefield or Call of Duty and you want to hear footsteps, add this to your game track, and it'll bring up those quiet, subtle noises, footsteps, that you would typically miss if you had a lot of stuff going on. This is a little hack, okay? But this also works your vocal. And what I've done is I've gotten this ratio here, and this is basically the setting. You can pause the video if you want to look at this. This is basically the settings that I found that I needed to get my RMS level basically hanging about where it's at right now, talking in a normal voice, okay? I'm not shouting. I'm not really, talking softly. I'm projecting well, like you should be in a microphone. And from that, you can see that I'm getting a general RMS level of about -14 decibels. All right. And then the last thing I've done is I've just added a limiter, and this is purely a brick wall. A limiter is a compressor. It's just a compressor that has really hard settings on it. It basically gives you a brick wall so that you can set it, and you do not have to worry about clipping your audio, okay? Because if you clip, you're going to have these weird, nasty sounds, and it's not going to sound great for your viewers. It's not going to sound great for your long-form content. So everybody, regardless of what you do, everybody needs to use a limiter, okay? Out of all this, I would say these two things are vital for every single vocal that you're recording, okay? These other two things are what's really going to change your gain to get your level to where you need it to be, especially the upward compressor, all right? So that's how you can do it inside of OBS without actually measuring loudness, using the RMS level in your VU meter right here. And now you can see that this is a nice loud vocal that I'm not clipping. I'm right here at -1, and you get plenty of vocal, and you got plenty of headroom for your for any adjustments that you need to make. So the next method that I'm going to show you, I'm using Audacity. This is a free digital audio workstation, or a DAW, that you can download, and the latest version is actually really nice. Audacity used to be kind of janky back in the day, but I'm not going to lie to you. For doing a simple voiceover, recording a commentary for YouTube, it's not bad. And you can add all the VSTs you want. Here inside of Audacity, I did a simple recording, and I'm going to play it real quick. I've turned everything off except for this denoiser plugin, so you can hear what the vocal is. And this is just a simple read about LUFS. LUFS stands for Loudness Units Full Scale. If you've heard of DBFS before, that full scale bit may sound familiar, and in fact, it's integrally related here. Just as DBFS are decibels relative to full scale, where full scale is the highest level allowable in fixed point digital audio, LUFS, or LUFS, are loudest units relative to that full scale. Another thing you need to know about is, what is the unit of measurement for LUFS? What does it represent? It basically represents your perceived hearing volume increase for every decibel of perceived change. Okay. And that's really weird to understand that, but let me explain it to you like this. So say you have a bunch of noises going on, and say you have something that's really quiet that is increased by 1 decibel. Well, because it's so quiet compared to everything else, your perceived loudness is not really going to change. It would take a lot of decibels for that to change before your perceived loudness would change. But if you had something that was the predominant noise in the event of, say, a song, the predominant instruments are usually your drums and your bass. That's the foundation, and usually the ones that take up the most space. If you have something loud like that, say if I were to increase a kick drum level by a couple decibels, your perceived loudness will automatically go up because that's such a predominant noise. Okay, so now what I'll do is I will turn on each of these, and I'm going to bring up down here on the master. I've got the limiter set to minus 0.101. I don't want to clip, so that's why I have that set, but it's not doing anything in terms of increasing loudness at all. But I do have the loudness meter here, and you'll see that I've got this pretty close to minus 14. LUFS stands for loudness units full scale. If you've heard of DBFS before, that full scale bit may sound familiar, and in fact, it's integrally related here. Just as DBFS are decibels relative to full scale, where full scale is the highest level allowable in fixed point digital audio, LUFS or LUFS are loudest units relative to that full scale. All right, so you see here, I've got a LUFS, an integrated LUFS, which is taking the full average over the whole recording, and you see I've got about a minus 13. Okay, so that's generally pretty good. You'll be good there if you get within a decibel or two of what you're trying to target. But how I did that was I used this dirty LA to do makeup gain, because when I go and I use this Elgato equalizer, you can see I've done a serious amount of cutting here to reduce this muddiness. I've got this high pass filter or high pass cut here. And then I've also taken some of this boxiness out around 500. And although I have done a little bit of a boost here to get some airiness back in my vocal, that this energy does not overtake the massive cutting that I've done on this side. So you have about maybe 2 decibels of loss here. Okay, that's something you got to keep in mind, because now we got to make all that up in addition to gain reduction that I'm doing here. So I'm using this compressor to even out some of those peaks, and I'm getting about 6 to 7 decibels of compression on the real high parts, like at this point right here. LUFS stands for loudness units full scale. If you've heard of DBFS before, that full scale bit may sound familiar, and in fact, it's integrally related here. So you can see that, generally speaking, about 7 decibels of gain reduction is what I'm hitting. So now I need to make this up on the output. So what I can do is I can get this about right here, and then let's listen to this again. LUFS stands for loudness units full scale. If you've heard of DBFS before, that full scale bit may sound familiar. Okay, so it's real close to integrally related. What audio is before. Just as DBFS are decibels relative to full scale, where full scale is the highest level allowable in fixed point digital audio, LUFS or LUFS are loudest units relative to that full scale. So using that makeup gain gets us to that minus 14 LUFS. That's very important. Again, sending your audio to YouTube so that they don't, and having it to a point where they don't have to mess with it, is going to benefit both you and your viewers, because you're going to get the audio that you want sent to YouTube, and you're going to have your viewers listening to the same audio processed and edited that you did without YouTube having to touch it. Well, that's the loudness, everybody. It's not super difficult to understand, but a lot of people really don't think about it when they're editing their videos and they're editing their audio for their videos. I've showed you a couple ways. I'm going to talk about a third way real quick. And these, the latest versions of editing software that's coming out. It's coming out with these automated functions where it can normalize and set your audio levels to a minus 14 LUFS or a specified LUFS that you set depending on what you're doing. That works pretty good, okay? But sometimes it will send level enough that you will actually clip. So you got to be careful with it. But as long as you send a nice audio level that has plenty of headroom to work with, then those types of things work well. And you don't have to worry about all the plugins and all the VSTs and stuff that we just showed you. But you got to have good source audio going in. That is the key to it all. Good source audio going in is going to just make life a lot easier. It's better to have good source audio at the beginning than having to try to fix it at the end, and it's still going to sound like garbage. That's just the way it is. All right. Well, listen, if you've got any questions about anything, let me know. Drop a comment down below. I'll try to answer them as best as I can. And if you've hung around this long, well, I really appreciate it. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications. You'll know I have a video that goes live. It's been good talking about loudness. I love going into little audio things like this and showing you how I process my vocals for my videos. Other than that, everybody, y'all have a great day. We'll see you later.